So we just had the United States Congress prevent a possible government shutdown, and they basically did this with no time remaining by passing a stopgap bill, which is going to fund the government for another 45 days or until November 17th. And there was a lot of controversy and fighting going on about this. And the drama for your mama is not over. This government funding is not going to last long. And I wanted to talk to you about the facts. What should you expect once we reach the end of this new government funding? Because they're going to have to pass a new bill. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy was trying to negotiate with the more conservative base of the House of Representatives. These are the individuals like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene and their colleagues who join along with them, who do not want any more unnecessary government spending. We've seen large amounts of government spending over the last 3 years, especially all those COVID pandemic years, and they want to pull that back big time. Also, they want a lot more funding for border control, and they don't want any, and I mean any, more money going to Ukraine. However, Kevin McCarthy couldn't get these things done, and he couldn't get the Republican votes. So now we have minutes remaining before the funding for the government's going to end. And what Kevin McCarthy did is he basically turned his back on his Republican, more conservative Republican colleagues, and he looked towards his Democrat colleagues and said, listen, we're going to keep everything going as normal, okay? We're not going to really change anything up. Just trust me. And they trusted him. Basically, they trusted him. Of course, there was a fire alarm pulled in the whole deal. They passed the bill, and he was telling the truth, but he turned his back on his Republican colleagues. So we're looking at a crazy amount of conflict right now. So as we are going to begin to approach the end of this new government funding, which is going to happen real quick, we're going to see Matt Gaetz call for the removal of the Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy. In the meantime, Kevin McCarthy is going to try to put together another bill, which he thinks he can get these Republicans to vote for. But there is no way, and I mean no way, the more conservative base, including Matt Gaetz and his friends, are going to go along, I think, with anything that Kevin McCarthy does. I don't think Kevin McCarthy is going to be able to give them the border funding they want. I don't think that Kevin McCarthy is going to be able to not fund Ukraine because he's not going to get any Democrat votes. And this is going to be a big problem. I think the two likely options going forward is that the government is still, in fact, going to shut down on November 17th, at least a partial shutdown, which is going to affect millions of people. Or I think that McCarthy is going to have to go back to the Democrats and do another short-term bill again and try to get Republicans to join him. But the more times he does this, probably the less and less likely Republicans are actually going to join him. Get the popcorn ready. Get the soft drink ready. Get some snacks by your side, because we're going to see a lot of fireworks going on over this one. And this is a little different than normal, because I know those of you that are watching this, you know that the government has shut down in the past. In fact, I think over the last 40 years, it's happened maybe 14 times. A bunch of times under Reagan, under Clinton, under Bush, even under Trump and Obama. We've seen this happen. But this time it's slightly different because it's Republicans versus Republicans. It's not the normal Republicans versus Democrats or Democrats versus Republicans. And I know right now the Democrats are saying that the Republicans are acting childish and they should not do this, but the Democrats have done this as well. But this time, because it's Republican on Republican fighting, I think things are going to get a little crazy. And in my opinion, if I had to take a guess, I think that McCarthy's going to pull out another short-term funding rather than going for the government shutdown. But if McCarthy wants to get the trust of his Republican colleagues back, he's probably going to have to go for a government shutdown. And in my opinion, I don't mind a government shutdown. Now, I do not like the fact that it is going to hurt many individuals, servicemen, and others. But our government is out of control. I mean, out of absolute control. They have no limits on their spending. Could you imagine if you were in as much debt as the government was with how much income you take in, and you just continued to spend without any repercussions at all? And every time you had to come to spending more money, you decided, I'm going to keep spending more money. This is what our government does, and they never balance the budget. And now there's calls for balancing the budget, and they're saying there's real consequences this time. We're not going to go along with anything that's not going to balance the budget and secure the borders and stop funding to Ukraine. And I don't think we're going to see agreement here. So this is going to be an interesting year coming up. I think we might see short-term votes over and over and over again for the next year. So what do you guys think? Do you think I'm onto this, or do you think I'm missing something? Go ahead and put your thoughts below in the comments. I love to read them. I'll catch you on the next one.